it's Taylor, and today I'm here to talk about Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. After I first read this book, I rated it a 4.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I think that rating still holds true. I very much enjoyed the book. I was close to giving it a 5, but I kind of save that 5 rating for those like special unicorn books that, kind of change your life and can't be touched. So Red Queen was a great read, something I thoroughly enjoyed, but not quite a unicorn book on my scale of ranking. For those of you who don't know anything about the book Red Queen, I'll quickly sum it up for you. Mare Barrow is our protagonist. She is a red living in poverty basically with her family, struggling to survive. In this world that she lives in, there are reds and silvers. The reds are the working class and the silvers are the elite. Mare is, like I said, she's a red, she's poor. Her best friend, Kilorn, is also a red, and he is an apprentice with a fisherman. So basically, having a job means that he is not subject to the draft that they have to feed this ongoing war. Well, very early on in the book, Kilorn's apprentice, not his apprentice, the guy that he's apprenticing for, dies, and then Kilorn is now subject to the draft. So this is the catalyst for the entire story. Mare is trying to find a way to save him, and through various misfortunate events ends up as a servant in the Palace of Silvers. They find out that she has an ability, and a lot of craziness ensues from there. I won't go too much into the details because I don't want to spoil anything. If you haven't read the book, though, I would highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it was just, it was a unique dystopian. It wasn't totally like everything I've read before with the Hunger Games and Divergent, the dystopians that have come out recently. I think it stepped away from that, and it had a good fantasy element in it as well, which definitely differentiated it. So that's it for my non-spoilery section of the book talk. If you haven't read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, I would suggest you leave now and go read it. If you don't really care about being spoiled, then let's just continue on because I have a lot to say about this story. So first things first, we start off the story with Mare, and she is talking about something called First Friday and the feats of First Friday, and immediately we get into this world where she is defining the stark contrast between the reds and the silvers, and how these fights that take place on the feats of First Friday are a trick, if you will, by the silvers to show the reds that they have a place in the world and they are underneath the silvers. Also, at the very beginning of the story, we are introduced to Kilorn Warren, who is Mare's best friend, and I'm just like, hold up. Female protagonist, male best friend. What do you know? One of them or both of them is in love with the other, and I just know it, and it's going to be probably the first 2 little dots on the beginning of the love triangle. I mentioned earlier that Kilorn's possible conscription was the sort of catalyst to the entire story, and here's why. In order to save him from the draft, Mare decides she wants to smuggle him out of their home area, which is called the Stilts. But she needs money, and a lot of money to do this, which obviously she doesn't have. She's living in poverty, and she decides she's gonna have her sister Gisa take her to this city near where they live, and she's gonna steal from some rich people, and she's gonna get some money and save Kilorn, and the whole world's gonna be all right. Well, things don't go according to plan, because while they're there in this city, the news is hijacked by this rebel group that we're introduced to called the Scarlet Guard, and they have bombed the capital city called Archeon. They are making their declaration of war basically against the Silvers. The Scarlet Guard is saying that they're going to rise up and there's going to be a revolution basically. Well, naturally, this sort of declaration of rebellion causes some chaos. So Mare and her sister, they don't get to steal things. They're on their way out of the city, heading home, and Gisa decides that she has one last chance to steal something. She's caught, and subsequently her hand is broken. So It's terrible. We feel awful for Gisa. Mare leaves the family home and is wandering around. And who does she meet but a handsome stranger? Wonder where this is gonna go. We have no idea anything about this guy really, except his name is Cal. They talk back and forth quickly and they share, I don't know, their woes about the universe. Their conversation ends when Cal says he's sorry, that she shouldn't have to live like this, that nobody should have to live like this. There you go. They part and go on their ways, and we don't really know if they're going to meet up again. Well, the next day, Mare is woken up early in the morning by some security patrol dealio and told that she is going to work in the palace now. She has a job as a servant to the royal family. Well, wouldn't you know, as we're being introduced to the royal family, it turns out that our handsome and mysterious stranger is actually Tiberius Calor, who is the crown prince of Norta, the country that all of this is taking place in. During the Queen's trial, Mare somehow falls or something into the Queen's trial pit, and instead of falling to her death, she all of a sudden explodes lightning. Which is problematic because silvers are supposed to have powers. Reds, like Mare, are not supposed to have powers. However, she just exploded lightning, so clearly she has powers. Cal's dad decides to pass Mare off as what's her name? Lady Marina Titano. So she is now faking it as a silver. During this sort of section where we decide that Mare is going to become Lady Marina and she's going to be a fake silver, Mare has this conversation with the Queen Alara. And let me just tell you, Alara is creepy. She is a whisper, I believe is her technical ability name, and she can get inside people's heads and make them see things and make them do things. And even if she didn't have that ability, she still seems creepy, just like someone who's very controlling, and I don't get good vibes from her, so we'll see how that all plays out. Right, okay. Let's talk about the love relationships in this book, because holy cannoli, it is the first love square, you heard me, not a love triangle, a love square. We've got Mare over here, Mare, we love her. First introduced, we've got Kilorn, her best friend, who I think loves her. It hasn't officially been said, but he definitely does jealousy type things and what have you. He's there. Then we've got handsome stranger, aka Cal, who he's so dreamy, and he's the crown prince, and they have these amazing sweet moments that are kind of forbidden, I guess you would say. Then lastly, bringing up the tail of the square, I guess, is Prince Maven, the one that Mare is actually betrothed to. And you kind of want to fight and say, well, even though she's betrothed to Maven, Cal's the one she has chemistry with, but no, she has chemistry with Maven too. They have these really sweet moments, and they seem like they can have a genuine relationship together. So you're what is going on? Do I root for the best friend? Do I root for the handsome prince? Do I root for the other prince who's seems sweet and could make her genuinely happy? I don't know. I don't know who to root for. This is just the craziest thing I've ever seen. Love square, boom. Once it's decided that Mare is going to become Lady Marina Titanos, she is also engaged to the second prince, who's Maven, and he just seems like this shy, sweet, amazing prince, and just you root for him immediately. Him and Mare have this just sweet chemistry, and you think oh, maybe she can actually fall in love with this guy and they can live happily ever after and it'll be great. But why? Why would I think that? Because this is book 1 in a 4-book series now. Nothing happy is going to happen in the first book, and it doesn't, because plot twist. Now let me tell you, this is the best plot twist I have ever read in a book. I am the plot twist bloodhound. I can sniff out a plot twist a mile away. This one had me shook, okay? I was not ready. I was not prepared for what was about to happen. Basically, let me tell you what. Maven is not a good guy. He's an evil little jerk person. Cal is sort of sweet and naive and gets himself tricked by this evil Alara Queen biatch, okay? She gets into his head, whispers and tells him to do something. He kills his father, the king, and then Alara and Maven manipulate the whole situation so that it looks like Cal willingly and, you know, went after his father and killed him, cut off his head, and that he did it for Mare so that they could be together, and this plot twist had me reeling. Okay, I wasn't ready. Why in every dystopian book is there a reference of something about like the game, the greater game? It's not a game, it's a kingdom. There are like real people that are relying on this kingdom to function properly. So not a game, it's real life. This quote, okay, is sort of the defining quote of this entire book, basically. This is Mare talking to Julian, who is Cal's uncle and also Mare's mentor. So Julian says, "This world is not your own. Learning to curtsy has not changed that. You don't understand the game we're playing." "Because this isn't a game, Julian." I push his book of records toward him, shoving the list of dead names into his lap. "This is life and death. I'm not playing for a throne or a crown or a prince. I'm not playing at all. I'm different," she says. Then Julian says, "You are," he murmurs, running a finger over the pages, "and that's why you're in danger from everyone, even Maven, even me. Anyone can betray anyone." Foreshadowing? I think so. Such a great quote, such a great line. Anyone can betray anyone. Ugh. Maven. Why? After Cal kills his dad because Alara forces him to, and Mare's there, and Mare gets blamed for being the reason why, they get arrested, and then after they get arrested, they're going to be like sentenced to death. They're going to be executed in something called the Bowl of Bones, which sounds terrifying. Let's just get that straight. So they're in the Bowl of Bones, and they're fighting, and they actually escape. So they get out, even though they're like half dead, basically. They've just been fighting all these people who are trying to execute them, and the Scarlet Guard actually comes and rescues them. Well, at the end of the book, like the very last chapter, it actually might be the epilogue, Mare wakes up, and after being unconscious, after being rescued, she wakes up and opens her eyes, and what? Her brother is there, standing over her. Shade, who is not dead, who has been a part of the Scarlet Guard the whole time, who is a new blood like Mare. He's a red with an ability, and holy cannoli, he's alive. He's not dead. Our hearts just want to burst with joy. And then we go off, and we don't know what's going to happen next, and the book ends. So this probably goes without saying at this point, but this story was a doozy. Probably one of the best first installments that I've read in a long time. I cannot say enough good things about this book. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Like I said, it's the first installment in a 4-book series. Originally, I thought that it was only going to be 3, but there is a 4th book coming out in 2018. So I seriously can't wait to get through the rest of the series and read that final one. I'm sure that all of the other books are going to knock my socks off, just like the first one. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Read the book. You must do it. It's fantastic. I loved it. That was my book talk on Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos from me.